So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Good morning, sunshine. How are you?
Good morning. I am fabulous. How are you?
So far, so good. Even better now that I have you in the hot seat and on the tan line. I know you've been
Thank
busy,
you.
and I'm grateful that you took time out of your schedule, especially to enlighten us, not just about the new show, but the things that families should gather around and watch. Because most of the times, the work that you're putting in, a lot of us are even unaware that is going on. So tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about your time with predator hunters.
Yeah, that's evolved significantly. It started back in 2021, so it's been a very long process, but it grew legs. And by the time 2024 rolled around, we had filmed something called a sizzle. And the next thing you know, A&E graciously picked that up, and we did all the filming for this new series in 2025, from March to July of 2025. So it's been a very long process. I'm really happy to see where it is now. It's unfolding in front of my eyes as I watch the episodes, because even though I was there and did it and did the cases and did the filming, it's a whole fresh perspective on how they put it all together, and they did a fantastic job.
How did you know fighting crime was the thing that you wanted to do? Was it a calling for your life? Was it something that you fell into?
It's kind of something I fell into. I'm a very kind of artistic and creative kind of person, so I thought I would be in that sort of arena. Like I wanted to be an architect, and then all of a sudden I learned about the military, and I thought, oh, I can pay for college, and I just took a test, and the test results, they said, hey, you want to be a cop? And I was like, well, okay. And so that's pretty much how it started, and that kicked off the catalyst for me. And then when I got to my agency on the civilian side, and I was working in the Crimes Against Children unit,
Mm.
that was where the big impact. That's when I knew, wow, these matter. This matters. And there's nothing better than to save a kid or rescue a kid. And there's nothing better than putting a predator in jail.
Absolutely. And you'll see that they get so creative in the methods, especially
Oh,
now as
yeah.
things have evolved throughout the years, and to be able to reach out to children in ways that we may not have top of mind. Do you ever
Right.
come across some of those cases, even while you're filming the episodes, that still catch you off guard?
Listen, I'd like to tell you I've been to the end of the internet, and it doesn't look very good at the end either. There's a
Mm.
lot that goes on, and I do this 24/7. I was literally talking online with a guy last night while I was watching the news. And so this is a 24-hour job, really. I thought that there would be things that I would never see again, but it just isn't the case. Like these guys are creatures of habit. There's only their own gratification is what they're interested in. And I think the people that watch this show are going to realize just how fast and how rapid things escalate, and how bold and brazen some of these predators are, and just what their underlying goal is, which is to meet that child. And I think that's one of the takeaways that parents are going to get from this. And it's always best if it's me instead of a real kid out there.
Right. What are some of the safety measures that you would like to put top of mind for parents and guardians?
Yeah, really great question. So number one is, I would say, intentionality. Be super intentional. Lean into your kiddos frequently. Back when I grew up, we had the talk. There was like your parents would have the talk with you about it. This isn't a one and done, right? I'll give you an
Mm.
analogy. If, as an example, we would never give a 10-year-old kid the keys to the car and say, hey, run down to the store and get some bread, get some milk, and come on back. Yet parents won't hesitate but to give a 10-year-old a phone that's fully capable of going online on the internet to do and see anything they want to see. And they just don't even bat an eye at that. And so we need to change that paradigm. And one of the things they can do is look for some significant behavior changes. If you see that your kiddo, who's like an A student, all of a sudden is making C's and D's, maybe something's going on. Maybe their friend group has changed a little bit. Maybe they're very outgoing and then all of a sudden they're kind of introverted. These could be some red flags that something's going on. But if you're having these, if you're empowering your kiddo through prevention and you're being diligent about getting to their device and checking their device and letting your kiddo know this is not your device. I pay for this. You're going to let me see this, have access to it, know what the passcodes are. I cannot tell you how many parents I see who don't even know how to access the kid's device. And do that if that's what you need to do.
Right.
Sometimes there's monitoring programs, but don't let that become your crutch for being intentional about going in and checking the devices, checking the gaming systems. They all have the ability to share videos and share content. They all have the ability to chat and communicate directly with a kiddo. You should educate yourself on where to go and look for that stuff. And if not, I could give you a resource to where you could find that.
Right. And these kids, they need to understand that this digital footprint, even if you were to delete it, it's still out there somewhere. And I
Yeah,
was amazed to see how even through some of the gaming systems, people are able to contact each other and contact
yeah,
children. And these kids can work a phone and a device better than any of us could put together. And I'm like, how
right.
did you even learn how to do that? It's second nature for them. For the
Yeah,
predators. I don't think there's one person that you can put in the room and you can just identify face value that that's a predator, but something in
right,
here clicks
right.
differently. What are some of the signs for those who may be living with a predator that may be dating a predator and may not know or recognize those signs?
Yeah, that's a really good question. That's the first time anybody's asked me that, and that's really very interesting because the dynamic of what goes on in their brain is what I feed on. I want that interview where I'm going to learn to get a glimpse behind their mask, because oftentimes this predilection that these predators have towards children is the darkest, deepest secret that they have. They often have their own families, wives and girlfriends and husbands and kids and family members who don't know that they have this propensity. So at the end of the day, if you start to see something, and again, I'm a little biased because I've been in this world for so long, so I don't really trust anybody. Like if I see somebody bouncing the kid on the knee, which looks so very innocent to me, I am hyper focused watching what's going on there. It's the other secondary thing I want to just add is like, don't blame yourself. I have a lot of people, spouses who come in and tell me, how did I not see this? Like, how did I not know this had happened? I blame myself. You cannot blame yourself at the end of the day. You just cannot do it, because those who have a propensity for kids, they will do what they can do, and they will gain your trust as a parent or an adult, or the person of trust or authority in a kiddo's life. They're going to gain all of that first with you before they ever try to do something with an actual child, so that it would be dismissed. Oh, it's a tickle game. Oh, it was wrestling. Oh, it was just playful. You're misunderstanding. That's the whole goal behind it. So you just have to sort of remove yourself and have the 5,000-foot view looking down to say, I'm going to assess everything that I see and I'm going to take it at face value. And if need be, I'm going to do some research and kind of see what I need to figure out.
I can imagine the shame that comes with that for a person who is married to a predator or living with a
Yeah,
predator and have children of their own with, by, or around, or even if they're working in places that are the safe havens.
yeah,
It's such a scary world. And when you don't know, you
yeah,
don't know. How do we even start the conversation without it being a coached effect, without it being uncomfortable for the child to have a safe space to
yeah.
say what they need to say?
Yeah, really good way, the way you frame that. I like that. Thank you for that. So you need to constantly have safe and practical, age appropriate conversations for the age of the child. There are so many resources out there. My business partner, Brandon Poor, and I, we run a podcast, and we have for the last 5 or 6 years, called Catfish Cops. And we do a lot of case studies, but we've really turned it into an awareness and education piece. And so if anybody is looking for any kind of resource, please go to our website. It's free for the taking, catfishcops.com/resources, and you will find so many different things on there. There's ways that you can engage with your kiddo. There are resources to the National Center for Missing Exploited Children, for NetSmarts. There are so many different links and things that we have on there. There are one-page settings for your kid's phone. If you're not so technically savvy and you don't really understand the third-party applications, you can go and find a specific one-page document that says, hey, here's 10 things you can do to make it safer for your kiddo. And so that intentionality, the more we drip on our kiddos, the more we lean in and we have these age-appropriate conversations, the more that they're sponges. They just learn it. And then by the time they encounter something, their first default thing is to say, oh, I need to go tell my mom and dad. And that's why we do it over and over and over with frequency, not just one time and think, oh, we're good. That's
Yeah.
not going to be the case.
Absolutely. And the more we watch, the more we learn. And I love the
Yep.
fact that you and your business partner, that you're expanding this platform to have the conversation. So it's not so uncomfortable. It's not so offbeat when it does come
Right.
up, because it happens, and it happens more than we care to acknowledge. So we have to stay ahead of the
Right.
curve. So you have a new subscriber in me, Catfish Cops. I'm here for it. And of course, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Well, I'll say
Thank
7:45.
you.
Because by the time
Right.
7:45 come around, I already have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Andy is already turned on. Detective
I
Godwin and
love
his
that.
people about to do what needs to be done, and Predator Hunters are coming on. So
I love that.
congratulations on this season. And I want you to think of
Thank
this
you.
as an extension of your office. Whenever you have anything going on, feel free to jump in the hot seat on the tan line and consider it done.
Thank you.
Here in
Thank
Louisiana,
you so
we have a
much.
high trafficking rate, and I really want us to be able to have this level of transparency to
Yeah.
make sure that families are safe.
That's the only way we're going to raise awareness. That's the only way we're going to increase people's knowledge base is through great shows like this and the asking the questions. We have the difficult conversations because we want to have them up front and do this now because, if gosh forbid something does happen, you can't unring a bell that's been rung. And so the best that we can do is just get smarter about it, work better. There's not a person on the planet that wouldn't do anything to save and help kids. And I think collectively we can just get together and make it a safer place for everybody.
Exactly. I know you have more work to do, so I'm gonna let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get
Thank you.
after it. I love you, and
I
there's absolutely
appreciate it.
nothing you can do about it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Likewise. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.